What is going on out there in Badger Nation? Steven, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. How's everybody out there doing?
If you're watching this on YouTube, you will notice that once again, Steven and I are separated. And we're recording a different kind of episode today, and I'm really, really excited about it. This is a topic that I'm super stoked to learn more about. This is a type of episode that we haven't really done before, having a guest with you, Steven, on the show. Are you pretty pumped up today?
I'm excited. We've done guest shows, we've done roundtable style podcast episodes. So this is like a roundtable guest combination, which is fun.
That's right. I dig the fact that this podcast, again, we get to have so much fun and thinking of new ways to sort of deliver value. And Stephen, we were actually thinking of like the core thesis of every single episode. Mm-hmm. And this actually came from one of our listeners. They wrote in and they said, you know what? Every single episode I get something that I can then immediately sort of end the podcast, jump into Amazon, and improve my campaigns. And
that's the goal.
That's awesome. So this episode should be no different. Today on the show, we have Scott, who is the CTO of BuyBoxer and Valence Services, so helping people out with their Amazon companies. And then he also hosts a show, Smartest Amazon Seller Podcast, and he's found on Instagram, Smartest Seller. Scott, how are you doing today?
Hi. Wow. Thank you for the intro. I'm equally excited just to talk about, the subject that we're going to cover. And I should say that I've listened to a few of your episodes, and I can agree that, I've taken away some things. Even after being on Amazon for years, there's still more to learn. And you guys have some good subjects that you cover.
You got to be a constant learner. How does it feel to be in the Badger Den itself? A little intimidating.
Yeah, there's two of you and one of me. So if we get in a fight, I don't know what's going to happen.
So Stephen and I were talking, and we are really excited about this particular topic, which by the end of this episode, we're going to learn a lot more about how couponing and sponsored product, sponsored brand ads are all related, and sort of how to use coupons as a boost to your campaigns. And what's really interesting about this is, when we optimize PPC campaigns on Amazon, we're just on that campaign tab. We're just looking at reports, we're looking at the campaigns, asking ourselves what can we do to make the actual campaigns better. And Scott, thank you so much. We were going back and forth with topics, and you picked a really great topic, which actually extends this a little bit further. So we're leaving the campaign tab and we're entering the coupon stage. So from 30,000 feet, high-level overview, why should people that want better results from their campaigns and, of course, better results for their Amazon store be thinking about coupons?
So, coupons operate differently than sponsored products in what how they incentivize the shopper to interact with your product. So I think of sponsored products as discoverability. People can find your product, but coupons, they do something different. There's a badge there, right there on, if you're on your phone, you could see a little green badge that says there's a $1 or $2 coupon. So it will increase click-through. And then obviously when people feel a value add and they see that coupon, it increases conversion. So I kind of separate those three different things that I just hit. If you think of advertising through that way, discoverability, sponsored products helps that. Mm-hmm. And whatever organic ranking you get, that is your product's discoverability. Whereas that doesn't necessarily mean people are going to click on it. Now, coupons throws this little green badge on it, and that increases click-through. And then finally, when people on your page, they can convert.
And just a quick question there, Scott. When it comes to actually, the effectiveness of those coupons, have you seen a big difference in if someone was to offer a 10% versus a 20, 25%? Does the actual coupon price coupon discount make a big difference on the conversion, or is it mostly kind of just that green badge that really just is the eye-catching attention grabber?
I mean, people are smart. They know the effective price, and so if you're jumping from 24.99 and your coupon is significant, it takes it down to below $20. I have to imagine that that would be better than a single $1 coupon. But what I have measured more than the different values um, is just the overall effectiveness. Does this increase conversion? I threw, here's just one quick study that I did. So all of our stale inventory, I threw the minimum value coupon on them, on all of them, all the SKUs. It was kind of a lot of work,
Mm-hmm.
and the sales doubled.
Oh
Now,
wow.
granted, this is stale inventory. This is not like it may be different for top of the curve types of products, but people our sales doubled. Granted, at a smaller margin. We took a we had to pay for these coupons in some fashion.
So if we were to start from step one in terms of, because we see a lot, right? We see people who are just starting out on Amazon. We see large companies on Amazon that might have lots of success off of Amazon, but now they're on it. So I want to be clear about, in terms of, what is the first step that someone should take when starting a coupon program? Is this something that is done perpetually, like they constantly have coupons on their products, or is this something more so that's done quarterly? Hey, we're going to have our coupon, week, or we're going to have our coupon month once a year or something like that. How do people incorporate coupons into their overall strategy typically?
Sure. So some of the mechanics that you came up with, like, so it's in the advertising section of Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just a little tab, coupons. You go there and you can select anywhere from 1 to 20 ASINs at a time and apply a coupon. You actually uh, get to put a little bit of copy on there. You can write like $1 off this baby product, or
Hmm.
I've usually just chosen generic ones because I just didn't want to think about it as much. But you can say something there. And there is a limit to the duration of a coupon. I believe it's about 3 months.
Hmm.
And then if you've done that, then I was told that then you take a month. You can't do another one immediately following. You have to wait a month. I don't know if that's entirely true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been successful in doing this. I know some people have timing strategies where they'll do 1 week on, 1 week off, or I've heard of a few different things that people do in terms of the timing. And it may just go, if you want to coincide it with another campaign that you're doing, it may make sense to you to adjust the dates to whatever your strategy is.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I have another, in the same vein of that, of sort of the timing of it. What are your thoughts on the types of products that you put it on? Is it something that maybe you put on your top 10% of sellers to push those even further, to get better click-through rates on their campaigns, driving more overall traffic and sales to them? Is it something that you use to revitalize maybe an underperformer? I'm curious how to incorporate that. When we're looking at campaigns and we're scratching our heads, we may be scratching our heads and saying, like, damn, like, why is the click-through rate so low for this particular product, or the conversion rate is different than what it should be? Should we be thinking, hey, this top performer, it's converting at 15% conversion rate, it's got a great click-through rate. If we were to smack a coupon on there, all of a sudden maybe that would jump to a 20% conversion rate with an even bigger click-through rate? Or should we be thinking of it in terms of, hey, this is an underperformer in our account, we want to move this inventory, let's smack a coupon on that?
So I think of any type of advertising. Its end goal to me is to increase the position of that page so that it starts to get more organic sales. You know, it starts to score better in keywords. So any gains on click-through and conversion are absolutely worth it. And I do think it accomplishes what you just said. It will it'll nudge your conversion up 5, maybe 10%, and um, and, and then customers are shopping for equal products. If they see your competitors and you say you're the same price, but like this one has a $2 off, I wouldn't discount that perceived value out of how people feel about getting a deal. Getting something that you talk to your friends about a deal. You're like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? Yeah, I got a 30% off. It has this, it hits our psychology the same way that free shipping can.
Right.
So I would do it to drive conversion and ultimately to try and get yourself a notch or two up on some of your key search terms.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Prime Day, that's why all of those days are the biggest shipping events of the year because of the deals. So absolutely, that's what drives it. Scott, quick question for you. Do you think there's such thing as maybe overdoing it with coupons? Like, why not just, throw a coupon on every single one of your products and just have those coupons, recur after every 3 months when it's runs up? As soon as you're able to apply the coupons again, just like have perpetual coupons on all of your products. Is there a downside to that?
So outside of the margin hit that you're taking, whether it's $1 to $10, I should say that there's actually a minimum of 5%. So if you have a $20 product, you have to do at least a $1 coupon. But I have a hard time coming up with reasons that you couldn't leave a coupon on forever to get another badge, to make customers feel like they're doing something. I mean, there's the margin hit. There's also a 60-cent fee for each coupon converted. That is it goes straight to Amazon for using a coupon. And I don't think that most of your shoppers in most category segments, they don't see your product every month. It's not like they're like popping in and out to see like, oh, is there a coupon on now?
Right.
They're very just driven by the need of that moment, and I think a coupon will always kind of capture that what people like.
Right. And of course you could, just to offset the profit margin impact. I mean, you could just raise the price, right? Raise the price by 20% and then offer a 20% coupon. I mean, maybe 20% might be a bit extreme. But whatever would be, I guess a number that would still make your discount look pretty appealing, like a good deal without making the price scare anyone away if that's the first thing they see.
Right. Yeah. No, that's the first thing that people think of if you're trying to like game a system. Is you're like, well, I'll just raise my price and then throw the coupon on to match that. I have been told. So I was introduced to this program actually by an Amazon employee. He's like, hey, you guys aren't using any of this. Like, you should consider it. And he told me that that there was a mechanism that didn't allow you to do that. It has to be the least expensive price for the last 30 days. And I haven't seen that in action. I have seen Amazon do that. We know that with lightning deals that they will definitely look at the trailing 30 days of sales. Right. But I don't know if that's in place with coupons yet. It sounds like that they want to put that in place in order so that sellers can't really game this system. But I would absolutely consider doing that at this stage.
And in terms of where shoppers end up seeing these coupons, is it just sort of below the product title, below the star rating, below the price, and sort of like right in that area? like at the top of the description, because you also mentioned that they see it on the listing itself, like in the search results, yielding like a click-through rate gain too. I just want to, because one of the things that I'm thinking of, we might have a lot of PPC marketers out there listening that are, getting down in the nitty-gritty of their campaigns, and now all of a sudden, maybe they need to ask their boss or their client or even their own company, just sort of asking themselves, what kind of coupon should we do? So what kind of information do they go to sort of their bosses or their clients with to start this process of coupon? Because it sounds great, to be able to look at your campaigns and sort of scratch your heads and say, hey, it'd be awesome if we were to boost the conversion rate or click-through rate for this product. Let's make a push on it there. It seems like a no-brainer to do. So walk us through some of the first steps of how people can go and talk to leaders in their companies to get buy-in for this.
I mean, it does, to me, it comes back to conversion.
Mm-hmm.
If you can increase conversion on your product, everything else just gets a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Your advertising gets a little bit easier in that, you don't have to spend as much to get as many sales. So I mean, all your marketing efforts, and then if you end up growing, you just get economies of scale. And so I am full stop, like anything to increase conversion is usually the best effort spent. And so
Mm-hmm.
I would start conversations around that a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time. Is like, hey, we've got a good product. We know it's actually better than the competitors, or at least as compelling. It's got great images, and
Mm-hmm.
Boosting conversion so that this modern shopper today that is very instinctual. They're buying from their phone in less than 15 seconds. They're making decisions, and so you want to. I would start the conversation, around conversion.
Mm-hmm. And I just did a search on Amazon for jump rope, and I think I was counting on this page. It seems to be pretty underutilized, where maybe even like less than half of the actual listings actually have sort of a save X% with coupon. And I'm looking at the sponsored ones. It looks like only it actually only looks like one sponsored placement actually is using a coupon right here, right now. So it seems like something not a lot of advertisers are utilizing.
Yeah, that was one of my first thoughts when I saw it. I was like, when I started to really understand them and use them, my first thought was like, okay, this is going to go big. At some point, everyone knows that you have to use sponsored products to launch a product. But not a lot of people know about coupons. Like sometimes people just don't even know that they exist. And I have to think that it's only going to increase in usage. And so I've thought about, I just got to take advantage of the time now where I know what they're bringing. And I do foresee a time when like they're used even more.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that there's a common mistake, aside from potentially not using them at all? Do you feel like there's a common mistake that people make when thinking about coupons and executing on this strategy, like a common pitfall to look out for?
I don't know if this is a mistake, but something I've learned through trial and error is, and I've had conversations with other people, is they give you an option whether to use a % off or a dollar off. And well, the Amazon employee told me that his data suggested that what converted better was actually a dollar amount. And you start to think about like why, and say if it's 15% off, most people don't readily like think exactly how valuable that is. I mean, if it's a $20 product and you tell me 15% off, I have to like stop and like think about that.
Right.
Whereas if you tell me $3 off, I know exactly what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it would be a mistake just to think that 5%. I think that, say take your $20 product again, 5% to me as a shopper, it doesn't motivate me nearly as much as like $1. Like I know I'm getting $1, boom, right there in my pocket.
Right. Yeah, it's much more tangible than having to think, try to be like more, yeah, like you said, doing the math or thinking abstract. Like, what is 5%? 5% on a $20 product is different from 5% on a $10 product. So,
Right. And another, let's see. There was one other thing. Oh, as you were speaking, that it reminded me of. If we keep talking, it'll come back. I know it.
Would you dare say? Would you dare say that every single person who's running sponsored products should be also incorporating some degree of couponing into their strategy?
I mean, you heard me earlier a little bit kind of suggest that, I think everyone should.
Cool.
I remembered what it was. Okay, so there's two places that the customer sees the coupon. They see it on, as a badge, either on mobile or on desktop. You see there's this little green badge. It used to be orange, but they found it was confusing, with the other badges out there. And then when they click on the product page, there is a button there that says it reminds them of the coupon. It'll say $1 off or 10% off, whatever you choose. And actually, there's a really interesting mechanic here that is sometimes funny if you think about why they have it that way. But the customer has to click the button to apply the coupon.
It's like the fine print.
Yeah. And if they don't click that button, they don't get that. They don't get the coupon. They don't get the $2 off. That's on mobile and desktop. And my data has suggested, as I've heard other people talk about this, that roughly around 40% of people are actually click that button.
Wow.
Interesting.
And definitely there's some people that may never have even paid attention to it from the beginning. But my brother told me this, and we were just laughing at him at dinner, that once he was buying a product on Amazon, saw the coupon, thought he was getting it, and then realized that he was that dumb one that forgot to use it.
Right. It's kind of like when you go to HEB, for anyone who's in Texas, it's a grocery store, but they always have these coupon tags hanging around everywhere that you're supposed to take one off. But I definitely had times where I get to the very end at the checkout line and I have 6 coupons in my pocket, and I forget to whip them all out at the very end, and basically didn't get to keep any of the savings.
And you probably chose some of the products that amongst the competitors because of that.
Based off of the coupon, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you can potentially have your cake and eat it too, in the sense of you could stick a coupon on, get the improved CTR conversion rates, and then potentially people don't actually clip the coupon and take it out of their pocket and actually utilize it. That's pretty crazy to think about.
Right. At this moment, I feel like that really increases the value of, its return on ad spend. If you kind of think about this as a marketing advertising tool, well, the fact that half the people don't even use it means your cost per sale, your advertising cost per sale just went down, and you did nothing.
Why is it you think that couponing, there's so much content out there about sponsored product optimization, how to get started, so on and so forth. Why do you feel like coupons is never part of that conversation?
Well, it's new. It's I think it's been around for about a year, and in its current form, maybe even less. They have made a few changes, such as changing the color, and another big part is I think sponsored products was such a big shift for Amazon at the time that it came out, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, where it really started to take off and be a big part. It was such a big shift that, you see everyone kind of had to change their business around that. And but since we have an advertising component, sometimes people are hesitant to learn a new one.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I actually think, as this is something that I don't have a tremendous deal of experience with. So I actually think it'd be really fun over the coming weeks to potentially have like a follow-up episode. We start playing with some of couponing and actually seeing how it impacts not only sponsored product performance, but also that specific product's organic performance and just overall sales. Almost like, Amazon is so positive feedback loop driven, where you run, sponsored products to very aggressive KPIs that helps boost reviews, that helps boost your organic ranking. Could coupons be another way to sort of throw in an accelerator, in another enzyme catalyst to sort of speed up this positive feedback loop? I'm super excited to start playing with this over the coming weeks.
This one really lends itself to case studies. Like, you could test this out so easily. I think sponsored products can be kind of complicated to like create, a test scenario where all things are equal.
Right.
Because, bids can change. You could have a competitor that can start to double his spend, and like, you don't have as much control over that. And this one, you could do a week on and a week off, like a light switch, which really makes for some great A/B testing. One of my first tests that I did with this, if you're familiar with either ARA Premium, or now it's in Seller Central under brand analytics, you've seen that. So that tells you, that's the only place in Amazon land that really tells you, your click-through percentage and your conversion percentage. And so if you have access to that through brand registry, you have all the tools you need to put together a really good test.
This is awesome. Stephen, we sit on a mountain of data. I would love to start digging in and playing with some coupons and actually seeing how that impacts sponsored product performance.
Right.
I think this is really exciting. Other than that, if you out there in Badger Nation are using coupons to help boost your sponsored products, to then help boost your products and your overall Amazon performance, definitely let us know at badger.com/voicemail. Send us a message, send us a note. This is a strategy we're going to be digging in even deeper and sharing along the way some of these data points. Scott, where can people find you?
Let's see. You can contact me anytime on at Smartest Seller on Instagram. I post some things that are Amazon related there, and I've always had some great interactions with people, and that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Right on. Scott, thank you so much for sharing some of the strategy with us, and looking forward to seeing how this goes and keeping in touch. We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and I just want to thank again all of our listeners for checking in with us. And if you guys ever want to hear out more about what we do, feel free to check us out at adbadger.com/podcastdeal. And like Michael said, there's also the voicemail you could leave for us if you have any questions about anything. And we'd also love to hear, do you pronounce it coupon or coupon? Let us know.